Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
This is a rare feat today, AJ Powers. Welcome back. Peter A. DeLuca, your film buff, your obsessive film freak. A rare occurrence. I've recorded this episode. And guys, coming to you from Philadelphia, PA, the one and only. We're 1,200 plus episodes deep. This might be the 1,200th and 10th or 11th episode of the Film Buff, and so many of you are with me, and geez, like, thank you guys so much. So let's talk about this rare occurrence, as Philly right now is just exploding with the World Cup. It's summertime. Yesterday I was at the FIFA Soccer Fan Fest. That is just awesome. There are sprawling fields, nothing but people there, all kinds of food, and some of the biggest screens you can imagine. And people are just there for the games. Everyone's just hanging. We were watching the Germany game in the Germany Ivory Coast, where Germany was down. It was like shocking that Germany was down. But that's what we're doing. So let's get, and I'm also recovering from volleyball and tennis injuries. I've been so physical this past week as well. Did two rounds of tennis, one round of pickleball, and by rounds I mean like a day of playing, and volleyball match, like game, and volleyball practice. So like that's on top of all my other like walking and working out, doing all these other things. So we've been busy. But let's get into this rare feat, because I normally I wait when I re-record an episode, because even though at times I may be unhappy with how well I'm able to vocalize something, I usually, like, hit the points I want to make. I kind of go back and forth. Now, a lot of times I'll record and delete and just like go back, because I kind of have the flow of it. I have some of my points memorized, and look, a lot of the time we're doing an information dump here. Sometimes the social media around or the promotion around some of these movies is more important than plot or box office, or even if the movie's good or not. Sometimes the quality of the movie, sometimes the positioning of a film is way more interesting than any other aspect. And that's what we try and do with like the first recording. We try and get one of those legs of the table, so to speak, into the conversation. But for Mortal Kombat Legends cage match came out October 17th, 2023. This is the 4th and final of and technically titled reboot series, the Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge 2020. Came out during COVID, blew me away, blew many of you away. The next year we would get Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms, which is a good direct sequel to the previous, but we get mostly the story from more video game wise, Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. By the time we get out of Battle of the Realm, where Outworld, pretty much, bad guys, they don't follow the rules of the Elder Gods, they don't follow the rules of the tournament, they invade Earth, and it's awesome. It's all out hell. I love those moments, and then we get like really big stuff with Liu Kang turning into the dragon, or like the dragon metaphor, so to speak, which is also the Mortal Kombat logo. We got a lot of that at the end of Mortal Kombat 2 that recently came out as well, the live action follow-up. But in 2022 we get Snowblind, which is now a story of the world of Mortal Kombat. Like what happens maybe between some of the video games, but what happens when there's no tournament? What can our characters do? And in 2022 and 2023, Snowblind and today's subject, Legends Cage Match, we try and answer that question, and it's with very back and forth, right? Like how well is this question answered? Snowblind. I just think and I always forget what is the name of that blind character. I'm going to try and look it up real quick because I always forget the dude's name, and I don't think what's it? Not Kara Cobra. We are losing either way. Kenshi is the guy's name. Right, Kenshi, yeah, and this one too. It's got a cool version of Kano. Kano's like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, but it just approaches the idea of we have a fantasy world. We have, powerful characters. We have wizards and sorceresses and sorcerers, and just a lot of cool mystical martial arts stuff happening. Can Mortal Kombat be an avenue for this type of entertainment? And here's the crazy thing. AKAPADers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe saw a hole. They saw the same thing these guys saw in 2022, which was, can we do this with Shang-Chi? The Marvel Cinematic Universe comes out of Endgame. Shang-Chi was highly anticipated. We can argue that might be the most crowd-pleasing, the best movie of the MCU since Infinity War. Like that's a real argument to have. We would put it up against Fantastic Four First Steps, which I'm the only one that liked, but Thunderbolts would be maybe number 2, and then we get Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. So many people are against that, and then Spider-Man, No Way Home. And that might just be there just because of the multiverse. You get the 3 Spider-Man, and people just like that movie for that reason alone. Even though they really kind of paint themselves. The last 2 Spider-Man movies, they put themselves in a corner that I don't think the storytelling is getting them out of. And look at where we are now. No one knows who Spider-Man is or was, and it just feels like wasted time and space when you get rid of people's memories. But either way, can we get a modern day martial arts fantasy? So this is where, and I have a previous episode where the position for that is between Cage Match and this new Mortal Kombat movie. The entire franchise has shifted into a Johnny Cage franchise. We see that here. I have to say, the first 30 plus minutes of this movie, maybe even 40, it's Johnny Cage in the world, rocking and rolling. Everything is animated and art directed as it just seems like pages from the 80s. We got neon glow. He's got a little bit of a mullet going. It looks like he's driving a Ferrari, like the Don Johnson one, but it's almost like Don Johnson in Miami Vice meets Johnny Cage meets Mortal Kombat. And one of his co-stars goes missing. And from that point on, we see the plot, we just see the plot. He's going to hunt down this girl, and then it's going to get nuts. And it does. It gets into some of this demon dragon crossover lore. Like how can Outworld still get into Earth, or have they been getting into Earth this whole time, and have they been dabbling, and are they doing it to other realms? It approaches a lot of interesting questions, but we get this big battle, big seance, lots of demons at the end. Very I will keep saying it. Epstein Island. Like it's the richest of the rich in Hollywood doing a satanic ritual in this movie. This is Bohemian Grove. This is like all those conspiracy theories. I think when it comes to Hollywood and just kind of, I think Quentin Tarantino's point with Hollywood. What's that word? Oh my God, I'm forgetting everything. How to Make It in Hollywood. No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Hollywood itself, like the core of the people that make up Hollywood, they themselves are lore and legends, and And Quentin Tarantino shows us that with his version of the Sharon Tate, Charles Manson murders, to where they don't get away with it. And I get the point. I get, like, why, right? And so many. I mean, a lot of people watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they hear it's based on a true story. And that's as far as they go. And they watch that movie, and they think that's how the Manson murders happened. Think about that, right? Like, that's bizarre. They think some of the other characters are real people. Yeah, we have the internet. We we don't have enough curiosity to look these things up, and I think that's a little bit of the disconnect with those two things. But no, there's a little bit of this hillside, rolling hills, beautiful ocean, long summer days, summers that never end. Atmosphere that Hollywood just draws people in on. Like, even today, I know there's a big exodus between LA and California. It doesn't matter. People are still, like, filing in, hoping to get those dreams, hoping to be a success. I would say more people now are getting into California for tech rather than Hollywood. Cage Match gives us that in the first 45 minutes. This idea of anything is possible. And Johnny Cage is the perfect avatar for that. When we're introduced to Johnny Cage, for example, in Mortal Kombat Legacy, which was the web series that changed everything, by the way, and we do have an episode on that coming. Mortal Kombat Legacy, Johnny Cage does a pitch. A little bit of Johnny Cage trope, the tropes that we have with this character. And if you guys need to know, I guess we should maybe highlight a little bit of the character. But he's an action star, martial artist. He's out of luck mostly. When we see him in Legacy, we're introduced to him through a movie trailer. This is what we get in Mortal Kombat 2. This is what we get in Cage Match. And it's kind of like a wink, wink. We're making fun of action movies and martial art films type action trailer. Entertaining. It's a great gotcha. I love it. I don't care. Every time you introduce Johnny Cage into a movie or cartoon series or TV series, do it this way. But in Legacy, Johnny Cage pitches a movie that he's, later tells us that he spent all of his money on. The studio, the executives just instantly reject him, and he's really left alone. And then Raiden comes to him for Mortal Kombat. So Johnny Cage is put in a position of, I have nothing left. I'll fight to the death. We get a little bit of that attitude in Mortal Kombat 2, where he's just like on the downturn of his career, still famous, and then eventually once he starts, running around Outworld, it's kind of like, well, Outworld is way more fun and entertaining than the real world, which is the opposite of how Kano feels, and Kano and Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2 is a little bit of an unexpected pair. Really good stuff though. Both of that, the strength of the performers. But in Cage Match, when I say he's rocking and rolling, and we have some of the executives that are like cocaine sniffing Robert Evans type characters transforming into demons. Johnny Cage is on the upswing of his career. It's refreshing to see him with the same attitude. He's a little bit self-aware. He's a little bit sarcastic. He embraces the chaos of the world around him, and this is a testament to this film's writer and directors. And we gotta give a shout out to the writer here. I had to name up Jeremy Adams and Ethan Spalding is our director, but Jeremy Adams, just when it comes to a script standpoint, a positioning standpoint, a pivot standpoint as well, because everything in this feature shifts. Once we're getting closer to the girl, he gets a martial arts ally. It's Johnny Cage, two girls essentially, and they got to take down the demon threat. At that point, we can argue that perhaps getting Chinook in the real world at this time, it doesn't add up, because we want the Johnny Cage first introduced in Outworld through the Mortal Kombat tournament. We don't want any of it coming to Earth outside what happens in like technically Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4, or the second of this series. I think this is a standalone Johnny Cage experiment. I think the first 30 to 40 minutes is what to watch. I think for character building and defining Johnny Cage further, I think it's there. I think it makes him one of the most interesting and fun characters to watch on screen. I think a lot of this was the blueprint for Mortal Kombat 2, but we get the second half, like, because you can kind of split this movie in two, and then at that point, is it like do we accept the world of Mortal Kombat coming into Earth, doing things? I don't, but it doesn't mean it's not there. It's not entertaining. I also feel like this is entertaining outside the context of Mortal Kombat. If we just took out the Mortal Kombat stuff in this and just had it be a straight Johnny Cage follow through, I think it's there. So it's a little bit of your taste, but either way, AK Powders, I think this is an exploration of the character. My previous recording of this episode was really about Johnny Cage overtaking the franchise and becoming the center of the franchise through this animated movie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take that episode, put it on the tail end of this, and you guys are going to get a little bit of a giant, bloated Mortal Kombat episode shot at two separate times. It's a lot of fun. We're going to end this episode fully, and then I'm going to restart the next episode right after this. So we're going to get our intro, and then we're going to get back into the intro and go through that. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And this is a complicated one for me to talk about. Combined minutes it might be like half of the feature the length of this movie as well. It's still available on HBO Max. I recommend it. Go check it out. Love you guys. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
If it's the weekend and you're hearing my wonderful voice, aka Powders, come on, film buffs. It's animation, it's cartoons. Get yourself some cereal. I want the highest sugar content with red cap, whole milk, because we're going here. That's what we do early in the morning. We sit down, we watch cartoons. In this case, Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. It's adult cartoons for adult audiences, and I was among the generation that failed adult animation. See, the 90s took everything, all the progress from the 80s, and destroyed it. The 90s had the birth of anime. We had everything from films like Heavy Metal, Wizards, American Pop. But there was a clear march to get more out of animation. Famously, Disney tried it with the Black Cauldron, and there's all kinds of stories about how darker and creepier that movie could have been. But then we get this. We get like home video, we get streaming, we get DVDs, and we get a franchise that in my view, like their Mortal Kombat is just built for animation. It's just built for storytelling and all. Hopefully by the time you're catching this, we have recently discussed Mortal Kombat 2 on this podcast. I've been doing all of Mortal Kombat all over again, just in full anticipation of watching MK2. That's how much. That's how connected. And recently too, after watching Mortal Kombat 2, just more connected to this franchise. And we have a couple things that happened through the course of Mortal Kombat. See, in the beginning, let's just go back there to the beginning. This was a Liu Kang franchise. Liu Kang is the Bruce Lee allegory, metaphor. He's the Bruce Lee character in a martial arts video game where you can rip out someone's heart. And then through the course of like the first couple years, the first Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, because we all know what happened with 4. The story expands, the villains, the final bosses. There's like a true hierarchy. And it's pretty cool stuff. And some of it's just like weird and corny. Like there's a centaur guy that's like part tiger man. There's a 4-armed dude. There's a shapeshifter that can steal your soul, and there's a movie star who was supposed to have been Jean-Claude Van Damme, but now he's Johnny Cage. But this franchise starts, and it's the Liu Kang show, and then as the series progresses, it becomes the Scorpion, Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero gets like a spin-off game, and then Sonya Blade and Jax, kind of popular, but also too similar to Cammy from Street Fighter 2 and her background, like special forces, special ops type stuff. They get like a spin-off game. But what really resonates is the backstory of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And then we get this. See, Mortal Kombat right now, it's not Liu Kang. It's Liu Kang is so far in the rear view of this franchise. And this is the fun of falling into a franchise just to study it. The second character next to Scorpion is Johnny Cage. So we get it in Cage Match. We get, in my view, we get a Johnny Cage adventure here, a character-defining arc, as significant as Scorpion's Revenge, which was the first of these 4 movies. Now, keep in mind, we have Snowblind, that was our previous one. We have Battle of the Realms, which is number 2, and Scorpion's Revenge, which is number 1. Scorpion's Revenge, a lot of you agree with me. Just the origin, the beginning of that movie, it's just to die for, pun intended. But then we get Johnny Cage, and now we have this template of where he is in his career, because he is Jean-Claude Van Damme. But he's a martial arts guy, used to be big in Hollywood, people love him, but he's not having his best days. A lot of the different interpretations of Johnny Cage, they have him in different parts of his career, and when he gets summoned to the Mortal Kombat tournament, it's kind of for different reasons. But Raiden eventually will recruit him. He'll recruit Johnny Cage for the 10th battle. Remember, the whole plot of Mortal Kombat is the evil demon guys of Outworld who have magical powers. If they win 10 Mortal Kombat tournaments in a row, they get to invade Earth. I make these rules up. The Elder Gods did. And we're talking lore here. But Johnny Cage is among the original. So we would have Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage. Like this is somewhat of our trinity that we see in that first New Line Cinema movie, where they all kind of have to have a moment. So Sonya's moment is always fighting Kano. Johnny Cage's moment in that first movie became killing Goro. Remember, in the new movie, Goro dies on Earth with the guy that everyone hates. that dies in that second movie. But anyway, the spoiler there. But yeah, AKA Powders, Mortal Kombat Legends cage match is, in my view, how you take a character that you know is right there on popularity. I think we had a little bit of that with Snowblind, but Snowblind didn't quite take off. And we define it, we inch it a little bit closer. I love the beginning of this movie. I love the banter and just the quippiness of the Johnny Cage character. This is a different Johnny Cage that we get in the new movie. This is a different Johnny Cage that we get in the original movie. But as of, I would say right now, and here's the wild thing, AKA Powders. Let's just say we reboot Mortal Kombat again. A lot of people would, I think, would agree, would push for a Johnny Cage Mortal Kombat movie to launch like a new franchise. I think as of now, they can have a Johnny Cage MK film, period. I think Carl Urban, like took over that movie. But it's not him. The character took over that movie. So just to part ways, yeah, I just want to say this. This is Ethan Spalding, Jeremy Adams, writer-director. Jeremy Adams, so we give a lot of credit to him in my view, creating the modern-day Johnny Cage character. Now, we got some of that too in Legacy, all of it. Legacy, little bit darker, because the executives like screw him over in that movie. But we get these like ideas of like how to introduce the Johnny Cage character is always introduced by a fake trailer. We get that in Legacy. We get that in the new Mortal Kombat 2. We get that here. It's what the audience expects. It's what they like. They want to make fun of action movies. They want a little bit of that Last Action Hero. I think Jeremy Adams channeled so much of Last Action Hero for this version of Johnny Cage. But in my view, this is the creation of the character. And when even like given like right the character's been around for 30 years or something. But a lot of times like we look back and we kind of say like, oh wow, like Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, 2007. Wow, like that's really when the character became popular. Iron Man, first appearance, like 1963, Tales of Suspense, right? Like it took that much time. It took the 60s going into the early 2000s for a kid to wear an Iron Man shirt, to have a backpack, to you can walk into a Target and see a line of action figures. And there was animated one. There was a 90s animated series, but it's not the same when a character hits like the cultural zeitgeist. And Johnny Cage is small enough, is cool enough, is off-center enough to still be like geek worthy. It's geek worthy to know about all the iterations and a lot of the stuff I'm talking about when it comes to Johnny Cage. But we look back at these things and we say, man, like Wolverine, always not popular. People were interested in Wolverine, but he wasn't quite Wolverine yet. And you go through the course of a lot of these intellectual properties, you have to say, well, like a lot of this is happening right now in real time, and we saw it happen with Cage Match, which is why I think this next to Scorpion's Revenge, maybe the second most important of all Mortal Kombat fiction or extensions of the game or media. This is a great one, guys. I love it. It's one of the best. Gotta go. Rock and roll. It is available on Max.
Okay, that's a wrap.